Today's story is Stop Breathing by GhostInk. It was midday. The sun was shining amongst the leaves of a forest. With no clouds blocking its light, heat rained against it. There wasn't much sound other than the occasional bird, though today was different than the usual. The sounds of a vehicle could be heard roaming its woods. Upon a dirt road, there was a van slowly driving upon it, eventually stopping at the end of the trail. The two men hopped out of the van, both heading straight to the back. In the back, which they opened up, they brought out a few things, both bringing out a rifle and a pistol. They were wearing black clothing as well, putting on black backpacks. "You sure this is the right place?" one of them asked. "Well, as far as they said, this is it," the other one said. They began walking down into the woods, slowly making their way deeper and deeper within its depths. As they were walking, they could feel the sweat drip down their faces. Though they still continued to venture further and further, no signs of slowing down. They both noticed how quiet the whole place was. Only one of them felt uneasy about it. "Hey, Jacob, why do you think they only sent two of us? Isn't it usually a bigger group than this?" the one behind asked. "Yeah, but they didn't feel it was that big of a threat," Jacob responded. "You're not scared, are you, Ethan?" Ethan shook his head. "Just not used to how small we are." "Look, it'll be fine. Don't need to be scared of something so minor. They only sent two of us for a reason." "Yeah, maybe you're right. Still not gonna be used to it." "That's fine. Just stay cautious and aware of your surroundings." "Already have that covered." They continued to walk further, only to stumble upon an old and rotten wooden house. Jacob analyzed it a bit before continuing on inside, Ethan following behind him. Entering, they saw all kinds of wooden furniture, either broken or covered in nature. Ethan looked all around the inside, checking for something. Jacob touched the furniture, rubbing his fingers against a wooden table covered in overgrown moss. Looking up the table, he noticed something. "Ethan, come here," Jacob ordered. Ethan walked up to him curiously. "Yeah, what is it?" Jacob looked up, giving Ethan the hint, looking above. A weird symbol painted in red could be seen on the ceiling. Cult?" Ethan asked. "Possibly. Just keep a lookout," Jacob warned. "Heard that," Ethan said before walking to the entrance. "Jacob, I'm gonna check around the house, see if there's anything left around here." Jacob nodded, and Ethan went out. He walked to the side of the building and looked along the old walls. Vines were growing its side, piercing the cracks on the rotten wood. Eventually, Ethan made his way to the back of the house, seeing what looked like an entrance to a basement. It was locked. The chain was found beside it, and it was broken. "Jacob, there's a basement back here. I'm going back in. I'll call for you if anything happens." He listened for a response, but didn't hear anything. He shook it off as Jacob still looking around. He opened the entrance. Dust flew into his face, making him cough a bit. He ventured his way down, turning on his flashlight and having his pistol out. He felt uneasy about going in this alone, but he shook it off as he prepared himself. The metal bars within the room shined from the flashlight. Even when covered in mold and dust, it was clear what was in there. They were cages, cells, to be more specific. Walking up to the cells, the words that came out of his mouth were, "Holy shit." There were skeletons, each with the same red painted symbol from upstairs. He turned his light to the left of the room and noticed a shelf. It was full of tools, all rusted, but they were here for one reason. "Oh, Jesus, there were some sick people," he said to himself. "I'll never understand how people could do this to each other." Before Ethan turned around, he felt a hand grab onto his shoulder. Quickly turning around and aiming his gun, he realized who it was. Whoa, it's just me," Jacob said while putting his hands up. "Jesus Christ, dude, I could have shot you," Ethan said, relieved. Jacob then put his hands down. "Well, good thing you didn't. Anyway, did you find anything down here?" "No, just more of these symbols. They're marked on the skeletons down here. That's not good. More of a reason to keep aware of our surroundings. Yeah, let's head back up. I'd rather not be down here if they ever come back. Jacob nodded and they both walked back up the stairs. When they got out, they noticed something different. The sky was gray and small white particles were falling from the sky. No, Ethan said, his eyes widened. We're on the other side, Jacob claimed. They walked around the side of the building. Ethan was trying to cope with the whole situation. Jacob looked calm, almost as if he had been there more than once. Ethan noticed this, which caused him to be confused. How can you be so calm about this? We don't know what's over here, Ethan said in a panicked tone. Jacob then stopped and looked him over. Just calm down. You panicking is going to get us like those people down in the cells, Jacob explained. And yes, I've been here before, plenty of times, but they're all different. Ethan had small tears build up in his eyes as he tried to calm down. Jacob put a hand on his shoulder. Look, it'll be all right, I promise. We'll get out of here. We just gotta wait for a while and stay in this area. And if we're correct, all we have to worry about is cultists. Ethan nodded as he was wiping the tears in his eyes. Now, let's see what's around the area and find a good location to post. This house ain't gonna cut it. Ethan nodded once again and they continued forward to the front of the house. Once there, they saw a small bundle of sticks wrapped in the shape of the symbol. And this creeped Ethan out even more, but he still kept his ground. Jacob examined it and looked at it thoroughly. He turned and shook his head, which made Ethan curious. It's a cult, no doubt about it, Jacob said. Should we be worried? Ethan asked in a worried tone. No, but don't take them lightly. I doubt they're regular people, Jacob warned as he walked back to Ethan. Ethan nodded and tried to calm himself down. He breathed slowly, eyes closed, and finally opened his eyes again to see Jacob gone. He then looked around him, looking in every direction, and he knew he was alone. He fell to his knees and his breathing hurt within his chest, like it was burning his lungs. Oh, remember your training? Remember what Jacob said? He told himself. If I keep acting like this, I'll get us both killed. He mustered the strength and got back up. His breathing calmed. He continued to walk forward to find Jacob. Walking through the woods, the weird flakes continued to fall. Everything was gray and felt dead. There weren't any leaves on the trees, and the leaves of the bushes and even the grass itself had no color. Ethan watched every corner and listened carefully. He didn't know what to expect. Cult or not, Jacob himself said he doubted they were a normal cult. Hearing a stick break somewhere rather close, Ethan aimed his pistol quickly in the direction of the sound. He then saw a shadow figure run away fast. Without hesitation or thought, he ran toward the figure as fast as he could. Chasing the figure, he felt uneasy once again. He knew this was a huge risk, following whoever it was in front of him. He blinked once, and the figure disappeared instantly. Dead in his tracks, Ethan felt confused and afraid. He heard another noise, but it was a faint sound. It sounded like chanting or something, possibly singing. Gulping down his throat, Ethan walked slowly toward the sound. He saw a light, blazing in the dull colors of the trees around in bright orange. Getting a closer look, he saw people in dark hoods, the symbols from the house on the back of their hoods. They preached in a foreign tongue, surrounding what looked to be a large fire. Upon that fire, a large stick in the shape of a cross was within the center. There was a person hanging on it, which made Ethan's eyes widen in shock. The person hung on a stick that was none other than Jacob. He was unconscious, sure, but visibly alive. Ethan armed himself up with what he was about to do. His breathing hurt him once again, but he knew he had to pull himself together. Aiming his pistol, he shot one straight in the head. The other hooded cultist continued to preach while facing Ethan. Before he could take another shot, a hidden cultist shoots an arrow into his left arm. He cries out in pain, but shoots dead in the chest of the cultist who shot him. The cultists begin to walk closer and closer to Ethan, still preaching in their foreign tongue. Get the hell away from me! Ethan yelled as he tried to move away from them. Before he could move away, though, another cultist appeared behind him. He was completely surrounded, and there wasn't any way to escape. They almost grabbed him, till the sound of Jacob's scream could be heard. The cultists stopped their preaching and turned back to face Jacob. Ethan watched in horror as he heard the screams. Jacob's body was moving and writhing in ways that were not physically possible. And then it stopped, his whole body going limp. The sound of bones breaking and flesh being squashed could be heard. Finally, Jacob's body was being split open from within, a creature of black, no eyes, and the squeal of the devil ripped through his body. It fell onto the ground below. The fires went out around the cross, and the creature sat up. It was small when it emerged, but now the size of a full human. Its black, slimy, pulsating skin and rows of teeth could be seen within the abyss. The cultists crouched down and bowed to the creature who was just standing there, and they all preached once more before giving out a large breath of air. The creature then walked up to them, slowly, as they kept breathing loudly. This creature eventually was in front of one of them. Ethan watched carefully as the creature extended its mouth wide and chomped onto the cultist's head, ripping it off, spinal cord and all. Ethan nearly puked at the sight, as it went one by one to the cultists, biting each limb and crushing upon them. Without waiting much longer, Ethan took the opportunity to run out of there. As he ran, he could hear the creature's roar in anger. He could hear something moving swiftly around them. He didn't know where it was coming from or if it was the creature at all. Out of nowhere, part of a tree root got caught under his feet, making him trip. He fell to his knees and saw the black monster from before. It was standing there before him, breathing heavily, and it sounded hungry. Ethan took one breath, and the creature got closer. He realized that something was off. Why wasn't it killing him right then and there? The creature's face was right in front of his own. Holding his breath was the only thing keeping him alive, and he knew if he let out one more breath, he was going to meet his own demise. His lungs were hurting again, burning even. He didn't have much time left, and there was only one thing in his mind. Just let go, it's over, his mind told him. He didn't know what to do. Should he accept his fate here? He closed his eyes, and he opened them up once more. He found himself back in the forest he was in earlier. The creature was still in front of him, waiting for him to breathe just one more time. Ethan was able to stand up, tears flowing in his eyes. He pointed his gun at the creature's head and took one final breath. There was the sound of a gunshot, and the forest went silent once more. Sometime later, there was a sound, a ringing. It was in the van. A phone could be hearing ringing within. A hand picked it up, answered it, and put it on speaker. Team 4691, was the mission successful? A deep-voiced man asked. Yeah, it's done, sir, Ethan said in a weak voice. Were there any casualties? The man asked. Ethan sat on the edge of the van's back end. Behind him laid the body of the creature from before. Just one, Ethan answered again in a weak voice. Give the name and identity number, please. Jacob Fairway, number 697. I see. We lost a veteran. Bring back the body of the specimen as well as the body of Jacob, if possible, and we'll see you back at home. The call ended, and Ethan was alone in the empty forest. He pulled out a cigarette and lit it up. This is for you, Jacob, Ethan said. I'm just sorry I couldn't save us both. So that, my friends, was again Stop Breathing by GhostInk. GhostInk does have a channel, and you should go subscribe and check out that channel, and keep an eye on it. Just saying. Alright, guys, if you all enjoyed that fantastic story and would like more content like this, or content that is so vastly different. It is like comparing flash drives to peppermint. Please consider joining the Nevermore. To join the Nevermore, all you got to do is hit that little subscribe button and the bell icon next to it, and you can help support the growth of the Nevermore by doing things like following me on Twitter, Facebook, or Reddit, or you can always pop into the Patreon or the coffee. Patreon starts at $2. Coffee is whatever you want to throw my way. All of this supports the growth of this wonderful Nevermore as we push past 1,000 lovely subscribers, as we have done already. Thank you to every one of you. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, fantastic week. It is a beautiful Monday. Do not let anything bring you down today, tomorrow, or any day after. I hope you know, no matter what's going on, you got it. You got this. So, all right, guys. Much love. I will see you on the next video. But until then, my friends,